I think we should finish off with a little bit of facts and logic. So what do we got? What do we got, Jacob? What's the last clip we have here?
Joe Manchin was not going to vote for a $7 trillion package because AOC and Ilhan Omar wanted it. These people are out of their minds. They truly do seem to think that like small boroughs in New York govern the entire country and that senators are not answerable to their home states. And Ilhan Omar joined the crew. She slammed Manchin as well. Here is the horrible congresswoman from Minnesota.
We all knew that Senator Manchin couldn't be trusted. The excuses that he just made, I think, are complete bullshit. It is really disheartening to hear him say that he has been trying to get there for the people of West Virginia, because that's a complete lie. There are just so many things that the people of West Virginia desperately need. And we know that he is not working on behalf of their interest. And I really am just completely disappointed and disgusted by his reasoning.
Well, I mean, if the people of West Virginia don't love Ilhan Omar, I mean, wow. I mean, when she speaks, the people of West Virginia listen. That is definitely a state, West Virginia, where Ilhan Omar, I'm sure, is wildly popular. Her perspectives are super popular in West Virginia. Again, the delusional nature of progressives who think they have a national program, as opposed to the reality of politics, which is you're always cobbling together a coalition to do incremental things. That is most of politics. And that it turns out Joe Biden did not have a mandate for anything remotely like this. It's amazing. And they will continue deluding themselves along these lines, the progressives, which means that Joe Biden should get with the program, right? If he had any brains at all.
Cuts there.
I haven't seen it, like the vitriol in his face, the way his eyebrows like point right down when he's talking about Ilhan Omar. I mean, well, we know how he feels about Muslim people.
Yeah, for sure, right? I mean, he had one of his, he's got this like big list that he made a couple years ago of like all of the stuff that he officially has takes backsies on, that he's like said over the course of his career, and one of them was at the column advocating for mass transfer of Palestinians from the West Bank and also Israel proper. So
did he take back the part where basically he said that they were living in sewage by their own accord?
I think he might have said it was a dumb tweet or something like that. I mean, I don't.
Dumb is generous.
It did not impress me as like. I mean, look, I'm not the people want to grow. I'm all for it. Like I don't want to be. I don't want to be the guy who's like not accepting that, and like holding everybody's past against them. But like,
you don't want to cancel comedians while the world burns.
Yeah, right. No, that's
my
nice.
plug for
that's
you.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah,
let's work it in a couple more times.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to do that, but also like I mean.
He would have had to show growth, Ben, for you to for that to be this is completely consistent, right?
That seems like there's very little pretense of growth there, right? I mean, like if you're just sort of saying like, no, I guess not. It's like the Oliver Stone Nixon movie. There's a scene where Nixon is like going through cutting things from the transcripts of the White House tapes. Is like, Nixon can't say that, it makes me sound anti-Semitic, it's like it just sort of seems like, Ben Shapiro can't say that, like, that sounds embarrassing now. I think that I think there's got to be a happy medium between canceling people for like, their like tweets when they were 13 or whatever, and like just being like, oh, okay, well, I guess he said he took it back. We're good now, right? Even though like I don't really hear what he's saying now in his commentary about this, it'd be all that different from what he said then. But also, if your memory extends all the way back to 2016, Bernie Sanders won West Virginia. So.
But let's be clear also too. Do you notice how he changes the subject so subtly in his argument? Before the Ilhan Omar clip plays, he talks about how Joe Manchin has to serve his constituents and needs to answer to the people of West Virginia. Ilhan Omar criticizes Joe Manchin. Then he says Ilhan Omar is unpopular in West Virginia. But is Joe Manchin voting on a "We Love Ilhan Omar" bill? I was not unaware of that. Actually, when you look at the polling, Build Back Better in its individual provisions, it depends on each poll, but
Sure.
it's like double digits at minimum for the major planks in Build Back Better. Some polls have the entire bill at like plus 30. So yeah, that's why Mr. Facts and Logic didn't really keep his own intellectual consistency there.
Yeah, and I mean, like he's doing like there's a reason he's bringing up Ilhan Omar, even though, right? I mean, it was not like it wasn't the bill to declare, whatever, just like December, 14th, Ilhan Omar Day, like, that wasn't that was the point. But like, there's a reason he's bringing up Ilhan Omar, because it allows him to say that thing about West Virginia without actually having to say his constituents don't want this or that or the other, provision of this bill, or even like the really crazy stuff that was cut from it, already, like paid for people to go to community college, because he I think even Ben Shapiro knows that he can't really say that. Like, that doesn't sound obviously true, but if he says, oh, but is this this scary Muslim woman, like clearly they wouldn't like that, right? Like that sounds more plausible than saying that they don't like the bill. I mean, it's the I mean, if you watched the debate that he did a couple months ago with Anna Kasparian, this is the same reason why, like, the sort of pattern of that was, Anna talks about, unions, and Ben's like, okay, but like, what about critical race theory? Right? Like it's because it's all like that. I mean, that's always the deflection, because if he's not going to deflect like that, what's the move?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the same thing what we were talking about with Holly there, right? It's aggrievement, and then plan B is deflect.
You have been watching free public content from Give Them an Argument. To access every single episode of the show, the main show on Monday nights, all of the streams, all of the debate breakdowns, all of the patron-exclusive post-games on Monday nights, all of the patron-exclusive bonus episodes every week, and much, much more, go to patreon.com/Ben Burgis. I cannot resist ending this with, don't be foolish.